You are listening to Productivity Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after productivity coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives entrepreneurs the straight talk on personal productivity. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the Productivity Specialist.
Welcome and thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. Today is episode 186, Slowing Down to Go Fast. If you're a business owner who wants to improve your time management and elevate your productivity so you can maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. I have something special for you today. I want to personally invite you to join me for my free masterclass, Full Speed Ahead: How to Achieve Any Goal You Set. Setting goals for 2021 is a good start, but you and I both know that's just the beginning. In fact, do I dare say it's the easy part of it? Absolutely, because you and I both know that setting goals is the easy part. In fact, if it was only about setting goals, then we'd all be achieving our goals that we set. But it's not. It's about executing. It's about achieving those goals that you've set for yourself. This masterclass is for you if you've ever written goals and forgot about them. Or perhaps you've written goals and then by Q2 or Q3 negotiated yourself out of achieving those goals and said, maybe next year. Perhaps you've set goals, but it scares the heck out of you because you actually do not know how to make that a reality. Then this masterclass is for you. Join me by going to amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. This is going to be a live training from me on January 28th. And I hope that you join me live January 28th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. But if you can't join me live, please know that I am offering for a limited time the replay to this masterclass. But the only way to get your hands on it is if you go sign up. So click the notes section anywhere you're listening to this podcast episode for the link, or head on over to amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. And now let's get to the straight talk. Stop telling yourself you don't have time to slow down. Bold statement, right? Well, I don't often make commands and statements like that. I often tell you that this is a different way of looking at something. This is something that could work for you. But in this case, I am not mixing my words. Stop telling yourself you do not have time to slow down. You are robbing yourself when you tell yourself you don't have time to slow down. You don't have time to slow down to learn. You don't have time to slow down to plan. You don't have time to slow down to train your team. And you certainly don't have time to take breaks. Slowing down to do these activities absolutely makes you more effective and efficient, thus being able to go faster. By not prioritizing slowing down, you are sabotaging yourself from going fast effectively, meaning you're getting to where you want to go on purpose. You're getting to where you want to go the right place, not just doing. So let's break these down. I'm going to break down learn, plan, train, and take breaks. The first one, learn. I hear this over and over with my coaching clients and members inside Leverage Lab. And they say, I wish I had more time to learn or for personal development and growth. And I get the sentiment of that statement, but we can't just wish it to happen. And in fact, the idea of saying, I wish I had the time takes the responsibility off of you and onto something else, something out there that can just happen or not happen to give you the time needed to learn. And this is where, instead of wishing, I want you to claim it. I want you to claim that you will make the time to learn. You will never, ever, ever just wake up one day and say, oh, I have some extra time on my hands today. Today is the day to learn. You're never going to look at your to-do list and say, yes, like with everything that there is to do on the to-do list, you're not going to just magically decide today's the day that those things don't need to get done and now I have time to learn. Learning comes in so many shapes, sizes, and forms. This isn't about how you learn, but rather finding a way that works for you. Perhaps you enjoy learning by listening to podcasts like this podcast episode. Actually, this is a great example, meaning if you're listening to this, it's not by accident. You made the choice to make the time to hit play on this episode. You integrated the behavior of listening to this podcast into your routines and your schedule. What I'm asking you to do is expand on that to other areas of your business, your life, and your schedule to incorporate additional learning where it makes sense. And by make sense, what I mean is that your business has particular skill sets that it needs. And if you don't currently possess those skill sets and it makes sense for you to possess them and not have it be something that gets hired out or contracted out, then I think that it is important that you do make it a priority. For example, the skill set of leadership, hiring, attracting the right people on your team, unless you're going to hire out an entire HR department or hire an HR consultant, that is you. And that is a skill set that I believe would be incredibly valuable to a small business owner. Not just the hiring, but what does the everyday leadership skills look like to get the results that you desire? Another skill set that I personally truly believe that each business owner should possess is personal productivity, time management, self-leadership. And those are skill sets that will allow you to achieve your goals. They will propel you towards achieving your goals. And they're certainly not skill sets that you can hire out. And even if other people on your team possess them, ultimately, it goes top down. I really believe that these are the type of skill sets that it's worth truly, truly investing in. Now, let's take another example. Perhaps your website needs to either be built or updated, and you are technology challenged. I don't think that it is best use of your time or return on investment to even create the time and space to learn how to build a website. I really believe that your time and energy would be better spent generating revenue in your business to hire out that skill set, because it's a skill set that you only need every once in a while. And if it's not in your wheelhouse, it will never be as good as hiring a professional. Another example is that if your business needs contracts or any kind of legal work, it does not make sense for you to be a Google attorney or to go to law school to try and put something together that ultimately would protect your business. This is a great skill set that would make sense outsourcing. So those are the differences between what skill sets I think that are worth outsourcing versus I absolutely think that you should make the time to invest in improving in specific skill sets that it would serve your business as the leader to possess. And a lot of this can be self-taught. I was actually in the kitchen with my son, and my personal assistant was in the kitchen too. And my son was eating lunch and he randomly said, there's a lot of really talented people that are self-taught. And he was talking about watching YouTube channels, and there was people playing the guitar and the piano, and there was just a lot of different skill sets that he has, stumbled upon on YouTube. And he said that they're really, really skilled and that they were self-taught. And I said, yes, absolutely. There are incredibly talented people that are self-taught, but even those people would really be served well with reaching out and asking for help from a mentor or a coach. And he's like, really? But they're good. And I said, yes, but they can even be better. You see, when we teach ourselves certain things, we have blinders on. And this is the incredible value of coaching is that you're inviting someone else in with a different perspective or asking different questions, or they can shortcut your learning curve. So my assistant Natalie chimed in, and she is a professional dancer, and she's danced her entire life. She herself is a dance teacher as well. And she goes, I have tried particular moves over and over again. Like, I've taught myself, I've YouTubed it. I mean, I could be working on a particular move for years. And then I'll go to a dance class and someone will say it and teach it to me in a different way, and it instantly clicks. And she's like, that honestly, if I could have found that help or that mentorship from someone else that could teach me how to, move my hips a certain way or lock out my arms a certain way, it would have shortcutted her learning. And that, I believe, is worthwhile. I think that it's a worthwhile investment to ask for help, to shortcut your learning curve, and to also surround yourself by people that will see the world differently than you and ask you different questions so that you can get different results than just by yourself. This reminds me of another story for me. I actually would not say that math is my strong suit, but that's because of a story that I had told myself based on a particular experience. And I don't believe that to be true about myself any longer because now I know. And here's what I know. In high school, I failed algebra twice. So I took it 2 times with the same teacher. So I took it during the year and then I took it in summer school, and both times I failed it. And talk about affecting your self-esteem, telling yourself a story, I must not be good at math. Like, maybe I'm not capable of learning this. This is what my limited thinking was in high school. And then I got a different teacher the following year. And I remember being in algebra class for like a week, and the teacher said something. He taught it a different way, and it literally clicked. Like, that missing puzzle piece that made my brain understand what algebra was about had to be explained to me from a different perspective and obviously a different teacher. And I freaking went through the whole class and aced it. And I remember literally when he said the thing that switched everything for me, like pounding my hand on the table saying, well, why didn't they just say that before? And maybe it was said before, and maybe I didn't listen, or maybe it just wasn't ever said in a way that my brain could process. So I think it is worthwhile to not only expand your learning past self-learning, but then also make sure that you're learning from someone that you get, that can pour into you and you can hear what they're saying, because I think it really matters who's teaching you as well. All right, so that's learning, making the time to learn, because it will have incredible impact on you achieving your goals. Number 2, not having time to plan. One of my favorite sayings that I share with my clients often is, planning is the practice of slowing down to speed up. Literally, planning is for the sole purpose of being able to go fast and fast on the right things. Peter Drucker says, there's nothing as useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. I'm going to say that one more time. There's nothing as useless as doing efficiently that which should not be done at all. If you don't plan and you're in reactive mode and you're just go without any strategy or context to what it is you're doing, you will be doing a lot of work and not getting you any closer to your goals. And as Peter Drucker said, you can even efficiently be doing those things, but if they're the wrong things, they are not effective. You say you don't have time to plan, but I'm going to tell you, you don't have time not to plan. I know that you know that planning works, and here's how I know this. I know that when you plan your day or your week, it is a drastic difference in how you experience your time than if you don't. I know that you feel more in control. I know you feel like you're in the driver's seat. I know that you're able to adjust with the ebb and flows of the unexpected when you plan. But when we don't plan, we literally go into firefighting mode and we're just not as effective. And if the goal to be productive and the goal is to show up and do our best work, I guarantee you are not doing your best work on the right activities without planning. You're also missing opportunities. If you're not planning your days and your weeks, you're not seeing opportunities to really maximize pockets of time. Maximize the activities that you choose to do versus what you reactively feel like doing day to day. When we plan, we're planning based on our goals. We're planning based on what it is that we know we want to get done, not based on how we feel. And when we go into a day without a plan, it's literally a free-for-all. And that is no way to be able to work every day. Like, that just doesn't feel good. And I'm going to tell you that while there is a lot of strategies that I've shared with you here at Productivity Straight Talk, and I've helped so many clients, ultimately, there's no getting around prioritizing planning. Now, the way that you plan, how you plan, that can all be customized. But the principle of showing up and doing your best, achieving your goals, it cannot happen without planning. Another quote here that I like reflecting on about planning is, "An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure." Benjamin Franklin. So when I say that when you don't plan your day, you're putting fires out, many of those fires are self-created fires. And when I say self-created fires, that means nobody else was responsible but yourself. Because you're putting out fires or you're fixing things because they were not pre-planned and you didn't get in front of it. And when you're busy putting out self-created fires and then add that to regular fires, like real issues that need to be handled, like a kid is sick, a dog is sick, a client cancels on you. Those are real things that are outside of your control. But you are not as prepared to handle those with ease because you're so busy putting out self-created fires, because there's no prevention, there's no plan going into your day. These self-created fires are just symptoms of the root cause of not planning. And when I talk about self-created fires, I want to share with you the power in saying that. As you go through your day and you think to yourself, "Oh, I'm putting out another fire," or maybe you're even wearing it as a badge of honor, saying, "All I do is put out fires. I go from one fire to the next," because that feels like you're accomplishing something and you're busy. I want you to be very clear. If you were to write these fires that you're putting out down on a piece of paper with a line in the middle, and one says fires and one says self-created fires, I want you to put the fires that you're taking your time, or that is taking up all of your time each and every day or each and every week, into these columns. And I want you to see for yourself how many of them, if you're truly honest, are self-created fires. Because the time doesn't need to be spent on fixing what the fire is about. Most of your fires can simply be put out by having a practice of planning regularly. And if you don't think that that's enough, like if that's not worth prioritizing planning and never again saying, "I don't have time to plan," this is why I say you don't have time not to plan. By planning, you can reduce the number of fires and be more proactive and intentional with where you're investing your time. Number 3, train. You don't have time to train. Come on, let's raise your hand. Have you ever thought, "I want to poke my eye out if I have to slow down and train somebody to do something. In fact, I will just do it myself because I can do it faster"? I hear you. I get it. And often those thoughts go through my head, meaning I'm admitting to you that it's not that I don't have those thoughts. I choose to not let them stay there. Because here's what I know, and here's how I let those thoughts come in and out. When I'm investing my time while slow, and it feels like I'm slowing everything down, when you invest in others, you're ultimately investing in yourself and your business. Because, for example, let's just do simple math here. Let's say that there's a task that you do every single week and it takes you 20 minutes. And you have to teach somebody on your team to do it, and it takes you an hour to teach them. When will you get a return on that investment? In 3 weeks, every single time someone else on your team does that task, you've now reclaimed 20 minutes. You do that over and over again, multiply it among multiple recurring tasks, you will be getting time back. But what it takes is not thinking, oh, I'll just do it, it's only 20 minutes. You're thinking short term rather, not long term. What is that 20 minutes over a year? And then you multiply that by the amount of tasks that you're doing. That's how, if you really need to look at it on why you need to have the time to train, is that it truly is an investment in buying back time. One of my clients, Heather Nunez, had shared one of her mottos with me, and this was probably about 5 years ago. And this has stuck with me because it is such great knowledge. Her motto is that she moves it from her to-do list to their to-learn list. So if there's a task that is showing up recurring on her to-do list and there's somebody else on her team that she thinks can handle it, then she moves it to a list with their name at the top and it goes on their to-learn list. And she creates the time and space to train that person so that that task no longer shows up on her to-do list. Brilliant. This one thought of I don't have time to train actually shows up in a lot of areas of our business. And by not training, you may be not hiring. You may not be, if you do hire, you're not delegating off as many things as you can because you're keeping them for yourself because of the scarcity thought of, I don't have time to train. But what if you flip that and said, every time I train, I'm buying back time? And where is your time better spent? In the example I had shared with you, in 3 weeks, you could be spending that 20 minutes on a discovery call with a client. You could be spending that 20 minutes having coffee with your spouse. I guarantee that if you looked at it as an investment and stopped looking short term but long term, you'll never again say, I don't have time to train. Number 4, not having time to take breaks. I mean, come on, who has time for breaks? I know that you're thinking this. I know that you're probably most likely working through your breaks, or when things get busy, the first thing that goes is taking breaks. Now, yes, I actually mean breaks during your business day. And you may be thinking, breaks? I don't even take lunch. Okay, let's back it up. I'm inviting you, rather, to create the time and space on your calendar. So if you look at my calendar, I literally block it out and it says lunch. And if it's not blocked out, I guarantee there's going to be appointments overlapping it. I guarantee I will have a task or a project or an activity or a meeting to attend. So those times on my schedule are non-negotiables. There is nothing else I need to be doing. There is no better place for me to be than taking my lunch break. And that's what the mindset that I go into when I put it on my calendar. Because if you think, oh yeah, I'm going to put it there, but it's totally negotiable, then you will never show up for your lunch break. You will get busy. You will rationalize why there's no lunch break and then wonder why you are exhausted, where you're feeling sluggish, where you have brain fog. In fact, I go into a bit more of this in a previous episode talking about creating energy. But for today's episode, I just want you to know that taking breaks throughout the day, even if they're just 5 minutes, taking a lunch break, having a day of the week where you're not working, where you can really shut off, planning periodic 3-day long weekends, having vacations, this is all something that I share inside my Time Management Made Simple program about creating your ideal year. Looking at the entire year for what kind of breaks do you want to have? What kind of vacations do you want to have? What seasons of your business are going to be go time? And which ones are going to be a bit slower so that you're not going 24/7, 7 days a week. That creates so much burnout. If you don't take breaks, you may fall victim to adrenal fatigue, burnout, depression, anxiety, brain fog, overall exhaustion, irritability, The list is going on and on. I'm literally just looking at my hands, counting off all the things that can happen if you are not prioritizing taking a break. And again, I know that I've said this multiple times, but if you flip this on its head and look at it as an investment, when I take my power naps, which I shared the whole story and why I take power naps in that previous episode about creating energy, I see that as an investment. I show up so much better in the afternoon. In fact, I was always able to pull through the afternoon at work, but I show up better at dinner. I show up better after dinner with my family on the days that I take my naps. That to me is invaluable. And I could too fall prey to rationalizing and dismissing and just saying, I just don't have time. And really, when I stumbled upon cat naps working for me, if you looked at my schedule, technically there probably wasn't the time. I created the time. I prioritized it. And I go take my naps even though there's a long list of tasks to do. Because ultimately, I know that I need that to do my best work, to show up as my best self. So again, I'm going to invite you to stop saying you don't have time to take breaks. It's truly an investment to showing up to your best. So let's recap, slowing down to go fast, looking at these items as investments to go fast. Number 1, prioritizing learning, making time to be a student. 2, plan, become a consistent planner so that you are being more proactive than reactive. There's so much less stress and chaos when you are consistently planning your days and your weeks. Number 3, train. Slow down to train your team. Slow down to share the knowledge so that you do not need to be the only one doing all the things. Each time you train someone on your team, it's an investment back to yourself. You're buying back time. And number 4, is take breaks. Slow it down, slow it way down to take breaks, to go fast, to rejuvenate, to re-energize, to refresh so that you can do your best work. Thank you for listening to Productivity Straight Talk. No change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. So, what are you going to take action on? Perhaps today's episode was just a great reminder for a perspective shift on the power of slowing down to go fast. I would love for you to join me inside my free masterclass, Full Speed Ahead. Look, setting goals for 2021 is a great start, but I want you to join me for this masterclass so that I can share with you how to actually achieve those goals, how to consistently execute to get the results you desire. Join me in Full Speed Ahead to find out how to make your 2021 goals a reality. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/full speed ahead. So that's my straight talk for you today. Until next time, have a productive week.